all for joining us. It really means a lot. My name's Nicole. I'm an optometrist here at UCSF. I've been here for 2.5 years now. And I first just want to start off by saying that I think I speak for all of the optometrists here that we really feel privileged and a big responsibility working at UCSF. The type of patients that we see here working at a top 10 eye hospital in the nation. You know, we get patients from all over the state traveling hours, even across the country, to get our type of primary and tertiary care. So we really love UCSF. We want to stay here, and that's why we're out here today. So we've been in negotiations for the past year with UC, trying to come up with a fair contract that's going to retain the quality optometrists that we already have and attract new ones as well. Unfortunately, we've had a turnover problem, patient care access problem as well. I think all of us pick up a patient at least once a week who tells us that they've been waiting 6 or 8 months for their appointment. Not great. You know, last week I was told that our next urgent appointment is in 2 weeks. Okay, urgent, right? And those patients have to go to the emergency room if they don't see us here at UCSF. So that's why we're out here today, to try to get UC back to the negotiating table. Unfortunately, for the past year, they have been negotiating in bad faith.
Hi, my name is Olivia. I'm one of the pediatric optometrists here. Actually, the three of us are the pediatric optometry team. So yeah, unfortunately, we have decided to go on strike. We're trying to get... Thank you, that's really good. We're trying to get UC to practice faithful bargaining. Thank you. And unfortunately, it has come to this. So it's been a really great group of everyone coming together to try to speak on our behalfs.
And some of the people here are saying that it takes time to get appointments for healthcare. You have to end up going to emergency for healthcare for a hospital.
That's absolutely right. So Christy can speak a bit to that.
Yeah,
more.
just like she said, that's absolutely right. When we don't have, so we have a high turnover rate because our contract is so below market price. Or market for what other optometrists at hospitals.
Other Kaiser optometrists are making more?
Much, like 30 to 40% more than what we're making here.
How do they justify that?
That's a great question for the administrative team here at UCSF, because a lot of us do take pride in our patients, a lot of us take pride in what we do, but when it comes to reality, you know, we're living in the Bay Area and we just can't afford to stay here. So we are doing this because we like what we do, we like our work here, we're prideful about it, and so that's why we're striking.
And the patients that need care, immediate eye care, get appointments, they're being shortchanged. This is a public institution, supposedly for the public.
Correct.
And a lot of the patients here, Medicare, they need your help. Yeah. I mean, what does that mean to the patients? What does that mean about what's going on with the hospital
Just like what you said earlier with the, if we don't have access to patient care, then they will need to be seen in an emergency room, have to wait a long time, have to pay that emergency room fee to see an on-call ophthalmology team. So when it's something that we can manage ourselves, or at least we can triage and see these patients in a much quicker time.
And they're spending millions of dollars buying hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that seems to be the priority, is expanding the system rather than taking.
Someone else said it better. You know, they need to use what they have instead of focusing on expanding.
I work closely with them. They work in pediatric optometry, and the accessibility to a pediatric optometrist in Northern California is pretty much zero apart from here. People travel from the border up with Oregon, and they travel pretty much from LA to just get a pair of glasses, which I find absolutely outrageous. You will have kids of 7 who are not seeing their optimal, level because they just haven't had a pair of glasses because nobody in the outside world would see them. And this is really pretty much the only place. So I feel quite strongly about that.
And what does that say about healthcare in this country? I mean, that's...
What does it say about a lot of things, including how we feel about children? I mean, it's been proven. There's a lot of research into how the early years and whether their sort of academic achievement is impacted by not being able to see properly. And it is so outrageous in 2024, in probably one of the richest countries on earth, that for a pair of glasses and probably a bit of patching if one eye doesn't see so well, which is what I do, these kids are just being kind of consigned to a much less productive life than they would be.
And I heard one of the chancellors got a $500,000 bonus.
I think that's...
Does that surprise you?
What is it? Shocked but not surprised, I think they say, don't they?
I mean, they have money for some things.
They have money for something, yeah.
And what's your name?
Am I supposed to give my name? I'm an orthoptist here. I work for them as well. Yeah.
And I mean, UC is supposed to have the best care in the world. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's.
I think it does. I think it's just the access, because it's a resource. Yeah.
If you have a high turnover, people can't stay here. I mean, it's amazing that Kaiser pays its optometrists more than UC.
Yeah. Yes, it's shocking. And as they say, it's not really, it's just because the Bay Area is so expensive. I relocated here. As a single person, it's virtually impossible. And I get paid a good salary, yet it's virtually impossible to live here because of the rents and everything else.
We need some public housing for working people.
Yeah, we do. We do. We go to that as well.
Thank you.
My name is Nicole Mershow, Nicole, last name Mershow, M as in Mary, ERCHO.
And you were saying in your speech that people can't get appointments. What's going on here?
Yeah, so unfortunately, patient access has declined. We have patients probably on a weekly basis, like I mentioned, that tell us that they have been waiting 6 to 8 months for their appointment. And really, the retention has been quite poor. In the last year, we've lost 2 tenured, skilled optometrists for better opportunities. Their frustration with UC just reached a point where they had to leave, and they had been with us for quite some time. And so when optometrists leave, we have to move those patients. Well, when all of our patients and our schedules are booked 6 and 8 months in advance, where do we move those patients? Okay, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a cumulative effect that's been happening for years and years. I've only been here for 2.5 years, and I've already seen it occur. So for the patients, the staff that have been here even longer, this has really been a problem.
And you were also saying you're far behind the Kaiser optometrists. What's going on? I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, so our optometrists here, we provide really crucial care, and our contracts currently are 30 to 40% below Kaiser's rate.
30 to 40%.
Yeah, and if you think about
doing the same work.
Yes, and if you think about it, the population that we serve at UCSF is really the most vulnerable. These are our Medicare patients, our Medi-Cal patients, our pediatric patients, our special needs patients, neuro patients, cancer patients. We see it all. So to be paid 30 to 40% lower than private hospitals in the Bay Area, it's disheartening.
And this campus, they're spending billions of dollars. UC is buying hospitals. It seems like they have a lot of money for their priority.
Yeah, it was a shock to see the acquisition of the new hospital system. It kind of shows maybe that UC is not taking us that seriously.
And also, you filed unfair labor practices. I mean, it's a public university. Why are they violating the labor laws?
That's a good question. We'll have to ask UC. That's why we're out here.
You think they should be spending all this money on lawyers? I mean, threatening you that you can't go out and picket and can't use your own unit, your own union t-shirts?
Yeah, it does kind of seem like a waste of time for the last 13 months going back and forth with UC when all we really want is just a fair contract so that we can get back to our jobs and see our patients in the way that we want to.
And the UC regents, they're appointed by the governor. Why aren't have any of them said they support you?
Not to my knowledge, but I haven't been so engaged in the negotiation table, so I don't think I could speak so much about that.